Welcome to another edition of the Nightly Nuge. And Ted, tonight we're going to have a guest, Kris Kobach, our friend who's running for Kansas Attorney General. But before we get there, I want to remind folks that tomorrow night, Wednesday, the 27th, you're going to be in Ardmore, Oklahoma, blowing up that arena, playing some of your firebrand new licks, old licks. So are you ready for Ardmore?
We do it all. We'll whip into a Chuck Berry and a Bo Diddley and a Little Richard and a Motown and a James Brown and a Wilson Pickett song. You never know, because I got the greatest band in the world. So may I, just by introducing my friend Kris Kobach, my music with Greg Smith and Jason Hartless, my music is the soundtrack for Law and Order. It really is. Yeah, we're irreverent and we're defiant and we're critical thinkers. That's what the founding fathers wanted all of us to be. But my music is the soundtrack for good over evil, justice, celebrating good people and punishing bad people. And I'm just a guitar player. I could be the Attorney General if there was real justice in America. That's why Kris Kobach, my buddy.
Okay, now, Ted, before we get to Kris, I want to talk about the border problem. Of course, you and I talk about it a lot. Your Attorney General down in Texas filed a lawsuit against the Biden administration and their lax border policy. And Paxton, the Attorney General in Texas, won at the lower court, and the Supreme Court just ruled in Texas' favor for now. The whole Supreme Court's going to rule on it, but the Texas Attorney General is trying to hold the Biden administration accountable for some of their run-amok policies. So two questions to you. First of all, the border down there, what a mess. And number two, how important is it that we get attorney generals elected in all 50 states to hold the Biden administration accountable for now?
Our quality of life pivots on law and order. And when you have a U.S. government where Uncle Sam is orchestrating the invasion of the United States of America, this punk-ass U.S. Attorney General will look in the camera and lie and say, the border is secure, but we're going to make... No, it's not secure. It's wide open. In fact, the southern border of the United States of America doesn't qualify as a border. And that's on the DOJ, that's on the Attorney General, that's on the President of the United States, and they should be ashamed of themselves. So the guitar player communicates with my law enforcement and my elected employees, and I'm just one of many Texans that are more, I've been doing it for the last 50 years, but more and more Texans are waking up going, what's my Attorney General doing? What's the mayor of Houston doing? Because Houston isn't Texas, San Antonio isn't Texas, Austin is Mars, and we're losing our Remember the Alamo law and order battle cry in Texas. So God bless Ken Paxton. He's the man for the job, just like Kris Kobach would be a great Attorney General, I think, for the United States of America myself.
Well, let's start with Kansas. Kris, welcome to the Nightly Nuge. You're running for Kansas Attorney General. You've had a lot of experience with the topic we're talking about today, border security. How does the state attorney general really impact issues like this? And how do the attorney generals in each state really protect we, the people of my home state, Kansas, in your case?
Yeah, no, it's a great question, Keith. And Ted, thanks for the kind words. Yeah, this is the attorney general is the one official in our entire system, a state attorney general, who can sue an unconstitutional Biden administration and stop him dead cold in court by getting a judicial order, like Ken Paxton did in Judge Tipton's court in Texas. As a matter of fact, I have a parallel case where I'm representing some Texas sheriffs on some of the same issues, and our case is on hold right now to see what the Supreme Court says when they give their final word in Ken Paxton's case. But that's why I'm running for Attorney General. As a private attorney, I've brought 3 lawsuits against the Biden administration. I've got 1 victory in my pocket already and 2 cases pending, including representing members of the Air Force who are being forced to take the vaccine against their religious objection. But I have those cases as a private attorney. But an attorney general of a state can sue any time the state's budget is affected by an illegal Biden order or the people's rights are affected by an illegal Biden order. So that's where I want to multiply the lawsuits against Joe Biden. My campaign yard signs say sue Joe Biden because that's what I'm going to do. Right now, Texas has over 20 lawsuits. They are carrying the country on their shoulders. if I'm elected Attorney General in Kansas, Kansas will stand shoulder to shoulder with Texas. We will bring additional lawsuits against Joe Biden. And so, viewers who are outside of Kansas should realize that the Attorney General in Kansas will be able to help you as well. We need a small number of hard, kicking state attorneys general who will sue the Biden administration whenever anything happens that takes away our rights, including the Second Amendment. And of course, Biden's promising to use executive authority to restrict our gun rights. So Kansas will be knocking at the courthouse door. And this is so important that we have another attorney general besides Ken Paxton helping him in the fight.
Well, let me ask you this, Kris. Your primary opponent is Kelly Warren. I've done my research on Kelly Warren. I don't believe she's ever been in federal court. I think she represents a bunch of homeowners associations or one or whatever. How important is experience when you're picking your state attorney general?
It's really important because as my opponents never even argued a case in federal court, the attorney general in most of these cases is going to be going to federal court to take on the Biden administration. And in my particular race, there's 3 of us in the primary. I'm determined to do this, and I've got a long track record of experience in civil litigation, not just against Biden, but also against Obama, versus an opponent who has no earthly idea how to bring a federal case to sue Joe Biden. So you need to have experience if you're going to credibly go to court and beat the Biden administration. And again, this is a case where we're in the final stretch here. Just about a week to go, and it's going to be really important that people, if they can, chip in from all over the country, because Kansas media is fairly cheap. If you send us $50, we can put up 5 radio ads.
How do they find you?
KrisKobach.com, KrisKobach.com, and they can chip in online, and every dollar that we receive will go to buying more ads.
Ted, I got a question for you. Ted's opponent, Kelly Warren, has said because Kris lost his last election, that he's disqualified, that would somehow disqualify him from running. It sounds odd to me because, I know you as a dad, and, I told my kids, you're not judged so much on falling, but on what you do after you fall, meaning get up. And I guess under Kelly Warren's logic, President Trump ought to just pack his bags, because the last I saw, President Trump lost his last election. What's your take on somebody saying Kris Kobach isn't qualified because he lost his last election? And really, what's your thought on Kris Kobach?
Well, certainly she's afraid, because Kris is an absolutist constitutionalist. I've watched Kris operate for years, and he's always come to the forefront. He's indefatigable. As a hunting buddy, he should probably dedicate himself to duck hunting, because he gets up early every day anyway. And he really fights for that sacred document, the pillar of the only experiment in self-government, those words of iron that the founding fathers were touched by the hand of God to make sure that each human being is equal in our rights and our values. And we have rights from God as enshrined in the U.S. Constitution. And I've watched Kris go to battle. I know I have got a really good attorney general in the state of Texas, and Ken Paxton, but I got to tell you, I would be proud to be a resident of a state, especially the great state of Kansas. Great hunting, great hardworking families, God, family, country, constitution, law and order. And that is the pivot point, law and order. Kris will make sure that there's law and order. He's not going to allow some DA to not prosecute some gangbanger and smash and grabber because he only stole $900 worth of jewelry from a mom and pop store. It comes down to street level pragmatism. Kris Kobach will continue to genuflect at the altar of the U.S. Constitution. So Kansas, I love Kansas. I got great rock and roll friends in Kansas, great ranchers and farmers, great hunting buddies. I know working hard, playing hard families in Kansas, and they know that their quality of the American dream pivots on law and order. And if you want a quality of law and order and a quality of life in Kansas, I give Kris Kobach my 100% Nugent family endorsement. Once again, because he's indefatigable in his support and demand for constitutionality. So Kris, I wish you Godspeed and I wish you good luck. Kansas is a great state, but with Kris Kobach as the top law enforcement officer, Kansas will be even better.
And hey, Ted, let's remind the folks that you're in Ardmore, Oklahoma tomorrow night. If you don't have your tickets, go to tednugent.com and get your tickets. And by the way, Martha Stewart has a problem, Ted. You have a solution?
I've got all the solutions. She's had a lot of problems, and if you would have just called me, I'd have put her on a true north compass setting a long time ago. But her current wildlife dilemma, man, I'm like Michael the Archangel with a suppressed 22. I can fix your problems, Martha.
Hey, Kris, we're going to talk about, a lot of issues. Will you come back? Will your schedule allow you to come back on this weekend edition and talk with Ted and I and help us solve Martha Stewart's dilemma?
Always happy to help, Keith. Be happy to be back.
Hey, come back again tomorrow night. We're going to have some more of the Nightly Nuge. And Ted, we have another guest tomorrow night. My friend Mike Brown, who I know you know and like. He's running for Kansas Secretary of State. We're going to talk about election integrity with a guest tomorrow night right here on the Nightly Nuge.